Hi, Grayson, Isley, and Atlas. Boy, do I miss you guys. We had a wonderful time at the cabin, and I really miss seeing you. Can't wait till next year. So, we need to finish up the Red Fox Cabin story. Remember, we had John and Paul and Peter and James. John, Paul, Peter, and James, and the two counselors. Well, this was the last day that they could go on an adventure at the camp. So they woke up early in the morning. The trumpet sounded. They rushed to roll up their sleeping bags and get everything ready. And then they went to the flagpole and did flag raising, and then into the dining hall and had their breakfast. And when they got done with their breakfast, the van was waiting. It was a white van, and they had their sleeping bags, their lunches, their flashlights, their swimming suits. Everything was packed and ready to go. So into the van they go, and down the road, bumpty, bumpty, bump. They went on the old part of the road. You know how you go into Deerfoot? And when you turn right, you go into the camp. When you turn left, you go up to where our cabin is on the lake. But remember that road we went on this summer that's up past the Green Gate? That's where they took the truck, because they wanted to go up that part and all the way up the mountain until you get to the other gate that we got to when we took our ride this summer. Well, that gate is locked, but the owner of the gate gave the key to the man who was driving the truck. And he opened the gate and drove through, and that road got more steep and more bumpy and more potholes, and that white van was rocking and going in and out of ditches because the road got really bad. Well, this road goes up, up, up on the side of the Dug Mountain, and then it turns and it goes down the other side. That's where the van went. They went down the other side and down to where old Deerfoot used to be. Long ago, 40 years ago, they had a small camp called Deerfoot that was on the other side of the Dug Mountain. But that's another whole story. So the van went up the mountain, down the other side, and down into a large field. And there in the field was an old, broken down cabin. The van stopped. The counselor said, "Everybody out and bring your equipment with you." So they took their sleeping bags. They went inside this old, abandoned fort, like a house, a cabin. And they went inside, and there was 4 bunk beds, old steel bunk beds with little springs on them. And they put down their sleeping bags. There wasn't even any mattresses, so they had to sleep on the springs. So they put their sleeping bags and their pillow and their flashlight on the bunk beds. And then the counselor said, "Everybody outside, we're going for a swim." So they got changed into their swimming suits. They went over, there was a little lake there, and they started to go in swimming and diving, and they had a wonderful time. When they got out, the sun was starting to set. And the counselor said, "Everybody come on in, get dressed, and hang up your swimsuits on the line to dry." So they put their swimsuits on the swimming line, got back into their blue jeans and their sweatshirts and their nice warm socks, And by that time, the counselors had a bonfire going. And they had the four, Peter, James, John, and I can't remember the fourth camper, but the four campers sat around the fire, and the counselors told them some stories. They had some chocolate bars and marshmallows. They had a wonderful, wonderful time. And then it was time to go to sleep. So they went back into the cabin. They got onto their beds. The counselor read them a Bible verse and had a prayer and said, "Good night, off you go to sleep, and tomorrow we'll have another adventure." And we will have another part of the story tomorrow when we do the next installment. I love you.